Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This pick a card is about you singles out there wanting to know about your love life. So we're going to take a look at love life, right? Your love life now, soon, and later. Maybe we can get a heads up on if there's love to come or not, right? So this video or this pick a card was recommended by a viewer who commented on another reading that I did, which was about you, all about you, now, soon, and later. So this is kind of like a spin-off for singles. I also did a reading for those who are in a connection, now, soon, and later. So there's 3 in this series. One about you, one about your connection if you're in a relationship, and about you singles. So now, soon, and later is the topic for all 3 of those videos, and I will link each of them in the description box. So if you ever want to go down and take a look at the other readings there, there will be a list of them in the description box. So I want to give thanks to Diana B, who recommended this spin-off topic of now, soon, and later, and I'm going to put her comment in the video right now. So if you haven't as of yet chosen a unicorn or a crystal on the table, by all means go ahead and choose now. There's a portion of silence in the very beginning of the video where you can pause where necessary, take as much time as you need to in order to choose. And if during that time you feel led to pick more than one card or crystal on the table, by all means go ahead and listen to your intuition. That's always going to be highly encouraged here. These readings are timeless, so whether you watch at the upload time or sometime after, if it's placed into your awareness and you feel that intuitive nudge to watch, there could be a message here for you. Nonetheless, these readings are general, so I can't possibly expect them to connect with everybody watching, although I hope you find a message here. But if you don't, you could always check out my pick a card playlist. There are a bunch of pick a card readings that I have done in that playlist. You can take as much time as you need to explore. There could be another pick a card reading in there that would connect for you better. And let's say if all is said and done, I'm not the reader for you. There are many readers out there in YouTube world. I'm pretty sure there's going to be one that has the messages you are looking for this time around, okay? So with all of that being said, Star Family, let's go ahead and get these cards and crystals on the table. We're going to go directly into the very first reading. Pile number 1, you chose this quartz druzy, and I'm going to put that there for you. This is your card. I did not shuffle for these unicorn cards. All I did was pick all of the aces and lay them on the table. You happen to choose the Ace of Swords for your unicorn, so I'm just going to put that there. We are looking at now, soon, and later in regards to your love life for you singles. Okay, so singles watching, for pile number 1, we want to take a look at now, soon, and later when it comes to your love life, your romantic life. Let's take a look at the situation now, soon, later for your love life. Singles watching for pile number 1. All right, so there's now, soon, and later. Let's take a look. All right, what do we got for now? All right, 7 of Swords. All right, 7 of Swords energy is one of those energies where it's very interesting. It can feel like, especially if you've been in past relationships, if you've been hurt, you know, people have lied, that you just don't trust, right? It could be that you have trust issues right now when it comes to people and relationships. Maybe you've encountered people that aren't always what they portray themselves to be with the 7 of Swords. It could be that right now, you're just not in a place where you can really trust people's energy or their vibe. The reason why I say this is because 7 of Swords energy is one of those energies that kind of tiptoes around things, and maybe just people that you've encountered aren't being themselves or being honest, or you just feel like some level of deception in maybe the way that they present themselves, and then when you get to know them better, they turn out to just not be what they said they were when you first met, that type of thing. And this is kind of the vibe that this is giving me. Also, I wonder if, because the 7 of Swords can talk about avoidance, I wonder if some of you are just avoiding right love at the moment, and maybe just kind of skirting around the topic, not really making it a priority at this time with the 7 of Swords. If you got other things going on, you might try to avoid, right, putting yourself out there if you can help it for now. And part of the reason of that is maybe you're working on yourself. Maybe you're doing other things. Maybe it is that you're not in a place where you can trust other people at this time. Okay. The Seven of Swords is kind of like sometimes walking on eggshells. And again, if you're feeling like, you know, you don't trust the dating life or the dating scene, it makes you a little weary, right? Especially if you're not trusting people's motives. And this is what this is giving me. It kind of makes me feel like you're not trusting people's motives when it comes to dating. And a lot of it could be online at this time. You know, I know with COVID and everything, places are locked down. You can't really socialize as much as you used to, depending on what state you're in, unfortunately. It just varies based on where you are, what the environment is, right, for the dating scene. And the Seven of Swords is that kind of like, you know, you can't really do what you normally would do in a normal scenario. A lot of it has resulted to dating online. And it could be that some of you don't trust online dating because, you know, with Seven of Swords energy, it could easily be a catfish. And people with, you know, people online with the Seven of Swords energy can also be quick to ghost you, right? Because it's easy. They don't have to confront or anything like that. They could just disappear. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can talk about that. If you've recently experienced a ghosting, maybe that's what you're going through right now with the Seven of Swords. But nonetheless, the Seven of Swords gives off a like untrustworthy vibe, and you could just be not trusting the environment, the dating environment, or the dating scene at this time. But I will take a clarifier with a plain card. Okay, yeah, Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles can talk about, you know, a lot of people, you know, in a scenario, right? Because it's a number 3, so oftentimes you can talk about more than one person involved. But Three of Pentacles is all about like teamwork and working together with people. And when I think about it in that context with the Seven of Swords, it could be, again, that you don't trust the people who come near you or maybe want to get to know you. It's more or less a weariness about it. Like, are they serious? Do they really want to, with this Three of Pentacles, want to build something with me? Because the Three of Pentacles does talk about building, right? Building something, the beginning building of a foundation. It's earth energy, so it's about establishing something. And this kind of feels like maybe the people that you have encountered, you haven't quite been able to build anything solid, safe, or secure with them, because with the Seven of Swords, they're just not maybe as serious, perhaps, as you are, and that creates a difference there. So I could definitely see this as the Three of Pentacles as people being in your environment and you wanting to try, right, to get to know people or work on something with somebody or invest in somebody. But then it turns out with the Seven of Swords that you can't trust the scenario or them or the situation or the circumstance because of something in, you know, that's a little off with the Seven of Swords, something that maybe feels under the surface that you can't quite figure out. It's like, you know, this feeling of I'm willing to work with people. I'm willing to, you know, be that team player. In other words, I will try to give people the benefit of the doubt with the Three of Pentacles and try to build a foundation with them. But then there's something always goes awry with the Seven of Swords, where I realize after I've given them my effort, my energy, because it's physical, right, with the Pentacles, I've given them my effort, my energy, and then something goes wrong. Like they could ghost or they can fall flat. In other words, a conversation could fall flat. They might avoid getting to meet you in person, especially if it's online, right? It's this kind of avoidant energy. So right now you could technically be avoiding love also. The other side of this coin is you could be avoiding love also with the Seven of Swords for now, because you're working on yourself or you're building your own foundation. That's a possibility too. And yeah, I mean, if you've had those experiences where, you know, you put your effort into somebody and then it just, you know, they end up kind of deceiving or betraying or just not being whatever they portrayed themselves to be, it can be disheartening, right? So it might have you in a position where, again, you're avoiding getting involved at this time because maybe you're focusing on your career, focusing on work, focusing on yourself with the Three of Pentacles. Okay. So let's take a look at, right, well, we already saw right now, but let's take a look at soon. Okay, Queen of Cups. Okay, why do I get the feeling or the notion Some of you could be Queen of Cups energy. You could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But I kind of get the feeling that it's reflecting a little bit of what's going on right here. It could be that you're looking into your own cup right now. Okay. It's not that you're not receptive or open to love, but it could be that you're focusing on self-love at the moment. Maybe because you've experienced a lot of this with the Seven of Swords. But I feel like the Queen of Cups is focusing on self-love soon. Or this energy is leading to this. And it also feels like Queen of Cups energy is looking into, like I said, looking into her own cup, but also learning about what she requires when it comes to love, romance, relationships. It feels like self-reflection coming from her. I feels like I said, she's peering into her own cup, and that would be self-reflection. It's also this feeling that I'm getting of filling your own cup first, right? So that is definitely good energy to have. It's also learning to listen to your intuition when it comes to this kind of energy or these kind of people that maybe, come your way. You also, with the Three of Pentacles over here on the Seven of Swords, you could, I don't know, there could be somebody at work also with the Three of Pentacles that has maybe caught your eye. Maybe, I don't know, there's like an avoidant energy. You tell me if this applies to you, and I know this is going to be very specific, but it also gives me this feeling of, with these two cards, that there could be somebody at work that you have your eye on, but you kind of keep it low-key as far as how you feel, so you kind of like tiptoe around them or walk on eggshells around them. You don't really let them know that you have a crush on them. Okay, that's very specific, I know, but it was something I'm picking up with just these two cards. But nonetheless, this is about listening to yourself, focusing on your needs, what your heart needs, maybe to heal. Water energy is very cleansing, cathartic, and healing. So at the same time, I could say that, you're focusing on your own healing, on your own well-being, listening to your intuition more, or trying to be very receptive to intuition when it comes to the dating scene, because part of you kind of feels like doesn't trust it over here right now. So it's kind of like this feeling of honing a skill, right? Honing your intuition. So that way, when you're ready to get back out in the dating scene again, you have radar perception. Okay, there's nothing able to get past you, right? When you hone the intuitive nature of the Queen of Cups, there's really nothing that can fly by you. All right, so let's take a look at later. Okay, later down the road. All right, so Four of Swords. Yeah, it kind of looks like pile number one. I don't see love here in this card. Obviously, I do see it as self-reflection, and I was feeling that already from the Queen of Cups, that she was looking into her own cup, peering into her own cup. And honestly, the Four of Swords is that. It is healing. It is self-reflection. It is meditating on your situation, clearing your mind, also removing yourself from outside influences so you can focus on self. So yeah, I feel like later down the road, you're still not going to be done with this journey to yourself, it feels like. I think you've dealt with your fair share of people who just weren't sincere or honest or forthright. And it feels like, because the Four of Swords is sometimes a tired energy, right? Or convalescent energy. So it kind of gives me this vibe that, you're tired of the riffraff. You're tired of, just people who aren't sincere. And it's like also this feeling, that it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to force love. I'm going to focus on myself. And when love is meant to be, it'll be here, because, at the end of the day, what's meant for you can't be withheld from you. And it's going to find its way to you anyhow when the time is right. And you can't avoid that. You could try, but you really can't. When love is meant to arrive, it will arrive. But it feels like for now, you're okay with that, especially with the Four of Swords in this position of later on. Okay, this is basically you focusing on self, connecting with yourself, learning about yourself, healing, clearing your mind, finding your own peace of mind, right, and well-being, learning to love yourself through the process. It could also be that you're pampering yourself with the Queen of Cups energy soon. You'll be doing a lot of things to take care of you. And the Four of Swords, I know it's not like a vacation card, but for whatever reason, it's giving me vibes of vacation. So if any of you are actually able to go out and travel, this could be, something that you do for self-care. You could go somewhere for a weekend to just explore on your own, rest, relax, recoup, go get a spa treatment is kind of what these two cards are saying here. You could definitely be doing little things like that to care for yourself. And the focus is on you now, it feels like. But I think that focus on you may indeed be very purposeful, okay? Because if it levels you up and makes you feel better and helps you tune into more of you, then that's always a plus, right? So let's take a look. Pile number 1 viewers. See if we get a final oracle card for this. Whoa, what is that? No way. No way. Look at that. Flipped over. Couldn't it be more perfect? Look at that. Healing. It says, now is the time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. So yeah, this is about you focusing on your healing, especially if with the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles together, there could have been a 3-party situation that maybe you recently got out of, or you've dealt with your fair share of, you know, people that just weren't, again, like I said, what they portrayed themselves to be at first. They weren't honest or authentic in some way. This has put you on the path right now to focus on yourself, and you're just gonna continue that journey for a little bit and heal, right? As the card says, now is a time for you to just continue your healing journey, focus on you, pay attention to your needs. And I would say, I don't know, part of me feels like the Queen is leveling up in herself, gaining confidence in herself, more security in herself as well. So, you know what else this gives me feelings of, especially with the 4 of Swords and the Queen of Cups? You're completely not bothered. Not bothered at all. All right, so pile number 1 viewers, this is your reading. If you feel that this has helped and connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, click that little bell for notification to support this channel. Every interaction does help this channel grow, and if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, just visit the description box down below. All my information is there. You can book a personal reading with me in my Etsy shop or purchase a piece of my handmade crystal jewelry that I make with my 2 hands on my free time to support this channel further. So I will let you go here. Take care of yourselves, but most importantly, keep shining. Pile number 2 viewers, you chose this garnet on its matrix. I don't know if you could see the fire in that. It's pretty cool. Anyhow, garnet on its matrix, for some of you that might actually be your birthstone. And then this is your unicorn. You chose the Ace of Pentacles. I did not shuffle for these. I just chose all of the aces in this deck. I thought the unicorn, right? Most of you watching are probably unicorns out there. I thought it was kind of cheeky. So you are a unicorn. Embrace that, right? So that is your card. Here is your tarot. This is a Morgan Greer tarot. If I didn't mention it sooner, forgive me. But we're looking at, you singles, picking for pile number 2. We are looking at love and relationships and romance down the road, or now, soon, later down the road. So now, soon, and later. For you singles watching for pile number 2, what does your love life, your romantic life look like now, soon, and later? This is maybe to help give you a heads up, right? So let's see, singles watching for pile number 2, your love life, your romantic life, now, soon, and later. Okay, so we have now, we have soon, and we have later. Okay. Bear with me while I just make them look nice on the screen here for you. All right, let's take a look at now. Okay, 2 of Wands. 2 of Wands is an energy of being at a crossroads, or kind of like maybe right now you're at a crossroads when it comes to your love life, right? You could be at the precipice of, like, you know, there's kind of like a debate I'm feeling from the 2 of Wands. It could be that you're wondering, when is love going to come? Is it out there? Should you consider dating? Maybe should you not? Should you wait? You know, it kind of feels like that you are in control right now. You have a choice as far as, you know, what direction you want to go in when it comes to approaching your love life. Some of you watching are single, but you could be debating, is it time for me to get back out there? Am I ready to, you know, explore with the 2 of Wands to see, you know, if love could be out there for me? And it's like, it's your choice whether you want to take that step forward in that direction to seek love. Again, this card is talking about the world being in your hands, right? it's kind of like the world is your oyster and you're the pearl. In this case, yes, you are the pearl. So it also tells me that you have some value, right? And you know your value because I'm seeing you as a pearl. You know your value. And I'm going to replace this candle for you right now. And it kind of feels like you're debating putting yourself out there again. To see maybe with the Two of Wands if you can find somebody, because you know, let's be real here. There's another hand in this picture, right? There's another hand in there. So when I'm looking at this, I'm like, you know, you have your value, you know your value. You're at a crossroads of whether maybe you want to, you know, get back into the dating scene again, or curious as to what is ahead of you when it comes to love or what could be out there. And it's like, here you are knowing your value, and it's like, you could be right now at a place where you're like, okay, I know I'm good, I'm doing well, I got a lot to offer. Is there somebody out there that can match me, right? Like I said, there's another hand here in this card. So it gives me the vibe that you could be kind of also exploring or on the lookout or about to explore the possibilities that await you out there in the dating world, because you have value, you have something to offer or give, right? And it's like looking for somebody who can match your vibe or match your value in some way, so that way you can, with a number two, because it's a number two, come together with that kind of person, right? This is telling me that there is somebody out there. And with the Two of Wands, you're looking to explore that, or debating whether it's time to explore it. Again, you're the pearl. You have value. You have something beautiful to offer someone that maybe, you know, if they're of the same caliber, maybe deserving of it, right? It's like an oyster, right, gives pearls. Pearls are beautiful. They are put into jewelry, right? And it's like, who's going to wear my pearls? That's what I'm getting vibes of. Like, who's going to wear my pearls? Who's going to be worthy of wearing my pearl? That kind of thing. That, I know that's weird, but that's what I'm getting from this card. And that's what it feels like. Maybe you're kind of like exploring or debating within yourself right now. I also feel from the Two of Wands, this is like a stepping up. For whatever reason, you stepped up your value, or you feel you have stepped up your value, that you got a lot to offer. You got a lot to offer the world, or to offer somebody when it comes to love. And it's like, who's going to be worthy of receiving that pearl that is you, okay? And you're curious to see if there's someone out there that will. That's what that feels like now. I hope that made sense. So let's take a look at soon, okay? All right, so Page of Swords energy. Page of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is an interesting card, especially because, you know, it does oftentimes talk about communication, right? And it oftentimes talks about social media and spying. So I wonder if that could be you. That could be you perusing, you know, social dating apps or whatever it is soon. Like I said, debating whether you should do it or embark upon that path. And then here could be that you decide to kind of get your feet wet in that department. And then over here with the Page of Swords, look online. Peep people's profiles, right? Especially with the Page of Swords with social media. But also somebody could be peeping and, you know, perusing your profile too. So you could have somebody kind of like internet, kind of like stalking your social media or stalking your dating profile if you date that way. Nonetheless, Page of Swords, if it's not that, let's say you're not a social media person, you don't like to do online dating, that kind of thing, then this can talk about, again, willing to test the waters, get your feet wet, and like any student of life, explore, right? Learn the world around you by trying things out. That's what pages do. The reason why they're exploratory energy is because, again, how are they going to level up to a knight, to a queen, to a king if they don't experience the world around them, get their feet wet, learn, ask questions, grow, and become, right? They have to have the experience in order for them to mature or level up in their journey. So what I'm looking at is this is you taking the steps, right, to maybe communicate or talk to people, because it is a Page of Swords and that's what sword energy does. Talk to people, get to know people, explore, maybe get your feet wet a little bit, dabble, right? Dabble with maybe a date here and there or something like that. You could also meet somebody who has a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you know, energy about them, maybe in their chart somewhere. You could definitely meet this person soon and then have conversations. What this is telling me with the Page of Swords is that this person, if it is a person that you come across, this person might actually be very they might like to explore your mind. They might like and prefer a very good conversation, right? It's all about communication and the mind with the sword energy. So I could definitely see you connecting with somebody on a mental level with this card soon in this position. But again, it could also talk about people checking out your profile and you checking out other people's profile on the low, on the sneak with the Page of Swords, and maybe even sending messages back and forth. Or you could just receive a message suddenly, unexpectedly with the Page of Swords energy. Maybe, you know, I got the vibe of maybe even by mistake, right? For whatever reason, I got the vibe that a message could come through via a mistake, or oh, I didn't mean to send that, but now that I'm here, or now that I did, you know, that's the feeling of the Page of Swords that it's giving me. And I guess maybe that's coming from the fact that pages are new, right? They're new energy. They're kind of inexperienced, right? And mistakes can be made like that when you're new to something. So I also want to say, if you're new to a site, an online site that you're not familiar with, you could have mistakenly liked somebody's picture. They could have mistakenly liked yours. They could have mistakenly sent a picture by accident, you know, vice versa. You could have done the same. So again, if you're on a dating site or a site that you're maybe not always familiar or not extremely familiar with, or let's say you are familiar with it, you could definitely soon end up liking somebody's photo by accident. So just putting that out there with the Page of Swords energy. So let's see what happens with later on energy. Okay. All right. So Hermit, why is it like you're starting off kind of like anticipating like the possibility of doing it, and then over here with the Page of Swords, it looks like you're dabbling a little bit, and then, you know, you're gone quiet over here with the Hermit. It could be that pile number 2 viewers, it looks like you might want to now, or you're considering it now. Soon you might actually do it, or kind of explore it at least, and then later on you decide, I don't know, maybe it's not, maybe I'm not quite ready for it yet. Okay, the reason why I say this is because Hermit energy is kind of silent and it goes inward. It is solo energy. It is a hermit, right? A hermit does not interact with people, right? It kind of removes himself from situations, people, places, and things in order to soul search and find himself. And it could be that if you explore it a little bit, you might decide, you know what, it's not quite for me. You know, let me kind of go inward a little bit. And it could be that, you know, some of you might be introverts, and throwing yourself out there or kind of getting to know people, social settings and things like that might not be your forte. You know, it could just be that's not who you are. You're not necessarily comfortable with that. So it looks like later on, if you're debating, exploring, or putting yourself out there, it could get to a point where you kind of like feel overwhelmed, and then the Hermit has to go inward again to recharge its batteries. Okay. And it could be with the Hermit, you may not feel quite ready to get back out there fully at this time. Okay. Hermit is solo energy, so it, you know, it's quiet energy. It's also non-action energy. So it could be, like I said, once you explore, you realize, you know what, I'm not quite ready to take that plunge. So, and you know what? The soul-searching energy of the Hermit is always trying to find himself. So, you know, that's not a bad thing to try to find yourself. That could be your focus later on, you know. I do feel hesitant energy, though. Like I said, it was kind of like that debate. Should I not try to put myself out there? And then, you know, there's a hesitant energy in that debate. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see if we get a final card for you, pile number 2 viewers. Okay, divination, it says. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. And it could be that some of you, you know, are in the midst of your soul searching or your journey with the Hermit. You could be dabbling in divinatory arts, okay? Maybe seeking a reading or something like that, or learning it for yourself. But it does feel like this is you connecting kind of like the Hermit energy, okay? Connecting like the Hermit energy. Because she's in the woods, right? The Hermit kind of does the same thing. He goes deep into the forest or the woods or to his cave to kind of learn about himself and gain clarity and perspective on his situation. He does have the star lighting the way, so he's not necessarily alone, if you know what I mean. He does have divine guidance at his feet, and divination is a way that we can connect to divine guidance. So yeah, I mean, it's just, if anything, the Hermit later on is just giving you an opportunity to connect more with yourself, connect more with your inner guidance and the divine. Okay, so pile number 2, this is your reading. I'm going to leave you here. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe as well to support this channel. Every interaction does help this channel grow. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me or purchase a handmade piece of my crystal jewelry to support this channel even further, consider checking me out on Etsy. All my information is in the description box down below. Pay me a visit at any time. So much love to you wherever you are. Pile number 2 viewers, take care and keep shining. Pile number 3, you chose this Coppernight stone. That is your crystal. I'm going to put that there. This is your card. This is the unicorn that you chose. I did not shuffle for these aces on the table. I just pulled all 4 aces from a playing card deck to give you something to choose from. What we're looking at, pile number 3 viewers, is your love life, right? Romantic life, now, soon, and later. So pile number 3 viewers, let's take a look at your love life, your romantic life, now, soon, later. Let's see, singles. What does that look like for you now, soon, and later when it comes to your love life, your romantic life? Now, soon, and later. All right, so we have now, soon, and later. All right, let me make this look nice for you. There we go, so you can see everything up close. All right, let's take a look at now. All right, so 3 of Swords. I have to wonder if pile number 3, if you've recently gotten out of a relationship, if there was a breakup in your recent past or something that you are recovering from with the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords can talk about heartaches or 3-party situations where you've been hurt. They could also talk about a conflict of head and heart that you're dealing with at this time when it comes to your love life, or someone that you loved causes that, you know, that push and pull within one's own mind and heart. You could definitely be experiencing that. Again, the swords are the mind energy and the heart is, you know, the emotion and everything. So it does speak of a conflict of head and heart and being torn in that department. It also speaks of sorrow and loss. So I don't know if there has been a loss of something or someone that has caused you emotional distress or pain or sadness, but that feels like what's happening right now, that you're still in the process of perhaps going through that, and or processing the way that you feel, or processing the loss or the heartache. And it does with the clouds here in the card. Oftentimes clouds can talk about, confusion or not seeing things clearly at this time, but there's a need to gain clarity. And it's like, until this heals, you probably, you're feeling like you probably won't gain clarity. You don't have clarity at this time. Again, conflict of head and heart can create that lack of clarity. So you could be experiencing that right now. So let's take a look at what's happening soon. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have the Judgment energy. The Judgment energy does talk about liberation, freedom from the past, letting it go completely, a rebirth of sorts for yourself. So this is a good energy to have, especially if you recently have experienced this and then you go from that to the Judgment. This is saying that you're liberating yourself from that past pain, from that past heartache. It also could speak of you reconciling that past pain and heartache, reconciling head and heart, so that way they're finally with the Judgment in balance, and that way you can truly free yourself to move forward. This is your Phoenix rising from the ashes card over here soon. Okay, it's a liberation card. So this is you truly liberating yourself from the past. Anything that would hold you back and keep you in this energy over here with the Three of Swords, that you're letting go of soon, and you're in the process of recovering from this Three of Swords energy. Judgment is definitely a transitionary card, right? It's where there's an ending in order to usher in a new beginning. And this is your moment. It feels like this is your renaissance. This is your rebirth moment. This is your renewal happening with this energy here coming soon after something that was been, maybe lost to you, or something that hurt deeply. This is you fully recovering from that experience and ready to face the world anew, okay, with the Judgment soon. So let's take a look at later, okay? Because if you're healing and you're moving on and in a good place, or about to enter a new cycle, right, with this Judgment, and you're fully healed from the past cycle, now you're entering a brand new one. This is telling me that there's a fresh start ahead of you, right? And that's always positive. Maybe one where you're feeling more yourself again, feeling more healed, right? But let's take a look at later on. Ooh, okay. Knight of Pentacles energy. Knight of Pentacles is about forward progression, right? Some of you could be Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus is out there. But you definitely could have a Knight of Pentacles come your way later down the road, right? This is usually, Knights are always approaching something, or they're moving towards something. So you could definitely have somebody moving towards you who comes with this Knight. Did I say Knight of Swords? Knight of Pentacles, sorry. Knights, just Knights in general. Are energies where they're always making forward progression and movement. And it could be that somebody is moving towards you, somebody who carries the Knight of Pentacles energy. For whatever reason, I thought for a minute there I might have said swords. So anyhow, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I don't know. Anyhow, the Knight of Pentacles energy is very slow moving, yes, okay, but you have to consider that when a Knight of Pentacles takes its time, it's because it wants to make sure that whatever it gives its physical energy, effort, and investment to, it's going to last. They don't like to invest in anything that's not going to last for the long term. Again, it's earthly energy, so we're looking at, they want to build something tangible with you. So with this energy, this is saying, yes, somebody later down the road could come your way to present this energy. And when they come through to present something, you can bet that it's a legit offer. Okay. It could be, hey, it could be, and some of you might not agree with this, but it could be that the Three of Swords energy, whatever breakup there was over here that you've recently got out of, that you're experiencing now, was really just setting the way for somebody else to come along, somebody who's going to offer something sincere, earthly, grounded, and tangible, right? And that maybe could be a future love over here with the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, again, does take its time, but the timing and the it's not an energy that's going to rush into a love situation. They're going to take their time, and they're going to build something up that, again, will be worth the time that it takes to build or create with you. So that's always hopeful, in a sense that you don't want somebody to just, you know, rush into something with you or try to rush into something with you. You know, if they're going to invest in you, it's because they're serious. Okay, so just consider that with the Knight of Pentacles. And this is forward movement, progress, forward. This is you, again, putting also one step or one foot in front of the other, right? Little by little, day by day, to build yourself back up again. So yeah, I could definitely see this as a person coming through, coming your way, but it feels like the reason why they're able to come your way is because this other situation is not an issue anymore. You could have, if it's not a relationship that you just got out of, it could be that you cleared your energy, okay, of any limitations, blockages, restrictions, anything that you've kind of had resistance about. You've worked on clearing your energy with these two cards here, all right? And what it does is free you up to receive what you're looking for when it comes to love, because there's no more resistance, right? There's more, a lot of surrender happening here right now with the Judgment energy in the soon position. So once the resistance of this cloudy energy is gone and your mind is clear and you're opening your arms wide to receive, right? Then this person comes along and is, you know, willing to invest and offer something real, something tangible. They want to build something. They want to create something with you. So yeah, that's definitely hopeful here with this energy, and that, and as far as like the later on the outcome, that looks really good and secure too. It feels safe as well. All right, so let's take a look. Pile number 3. Let's see what we can get here. Whoa. Okay. Oh, you get 2 cards. Look at that. Let's see what we get here. Moon energy, it says surrender. There you go. Surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, there goes the confusion and there goes the surrender. Okay. It says, if you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. And this is you having your peace of mind after you've cleared your mind and let anything that would hold you back or make you feel at a loss, you would clear that out of the way. It makes room, right, for that clarity and peace of mind. So we have that, and then this, it says purity. It says, always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it, you will find the answer to your question, right? And sometimes we do have to take a good look at ourselves and our heart. And it's saying that you have a good heart. So trust that even if somebody hurt you in the past, over here with this 3 of Swords energy, you have a good heart. You are worthy of being loved, okay? And just know that. And you have birds chirping in the background. I have my back door open, by the way. So, and they're agreeing with me right now. So, so remember, you have a good heart. You deserve to be loved. And you will come across somebody who wants to invest in you because they see that too. You get me? So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. This is your reading. I will leave you here. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to support this channel. Click the little bell for notification. Every interaction does help this channel grow. And if you want to take it a step further to support what I do here with this channel, maybe consider checking out my Etsy shop. I do have personal readings there and handmade crystal jewelry that I make with my 2 hands on my free time. All you have to do is look at the description box down below. Links are there. Pay me a visit at any time. So much love to you wherever you are. Take care. But most of all, keep shining. Pile number 4, viewers, you chose this lovely piece of amethyst. That is your crystal. I'm going to put that there. This is your unicorn. That's the one that you chose. I'm not going to read this card because I didn't shuffle for it. All I did was choose all 4 aces in this playing card deck to give you something to choose from. So that is your unicorn. I'm going to put it there. And we're looking at now, soon, later. For you singles out there, we want to take a look at your love life, your romantic life, for pile number 4 viewers. So your romantic life, your love life, now, soon, and later. So singles watching for pile number 4. let's take a look at your romantic life, your love life now, soon, and later. So now, soon, and later. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let me move these over so you can see them better. All right, so let's take a look at now. Oh, okay. Queen of Rods energy. Nice. That's saying you're highly attractive. You're feeling good about yourself too. That's like you having a lot of confidence in yourself. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like this. This is basically saying you're in a good place, okay? Or you feel good about yourself. It could also, for whatever reason, she gave me vibes of like focusing on your health too right now. That could be a priority for some of you. Also, it's highly in what do you call it? Charismatic energy. Okay, Queen of Rods. So you have that flame, you have that fire. Some of you could be technically Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy somewhere in your chart. You do have that fire. And I think people notice that. I think, you know, with this energy for sure, how can you not, right? You can't, yeah, there's just this beautiful glow, right? Because look at all this yellow energy. It's golden. So you're like the golden child. The divine sun child, right? Like you have this glow about you. And I say sun because we have the sunflower. Sunflower is a symbol of success and the sun itself. So it kind of feels like you have this natural glow about you or vibe about you that just naturally attracts people. And people can't really avoid noticing or not feeling that from you when they're around you. So this is good. This is telling me that you're in a good place. You're feeling confident about yourself at the moment. Maybe you're focused a little bit on yourself at this time as well, but that's because you're doing good things for yourself, right? You're treating your body right. You could be eating healthier, better. You could be changing something about yourself as well to make yourself feel better about, you know, your physical appearance or about yourself in general. You could be doing things to, right, to give you that glow, right? If you're taking better care of yourself, physically, spiritually, emotionally, it's going to show. People are going to notice that. And this is telling me that you are highly attractive right now. I wouldn't doubt if you had a couple of suitors or people right now in your life that kind of want to get at you or get with you with this energy. And you know what? If they're not, it's not that they don't notice you, okay? If people aren't making it known that they would like that or like something with you, in other words, they're not making it obvious. It's not that they don't notice. They do notice. It's just that they're not maybe bold enough to maybe advance towards you, okay? I don't know why I get the vibe with the Queen of Wands. Her energy is very like self-assured, confident, and that could definitely be intimidating to other people who see your glow, see your shine, and you know, they see that fire and it's like they're admiring it, right? But I also feel like part of them might be intimidated by it at the same time, right? So that's good energy to have. I like it. So let's take a look at soon. Oh, dang. Okay. Alrighty then, pile number 4. Just as I said that, right? Just as I said that there could be suitors around you noticing your glow or noticing your fire or whatever it is that you give off, right? This vibe that you give off, they're attracted to it. They're noticing it. We get a Knight of Cups. So definitely you have people around you soon that are noticing you and look like right here with this card that they want to advance towards you soon. Like I said, they're not quite, it doesn't feel like right now they're bold enough, brave enough, maybe the way you are, right, to advance towards you at this specific moment right now. But they're contemplating it. They're noticing what you got. They want some of that. And the Knight of Cups energy is definitely indicating that somebody could potentially offer that cup of love, right? Offer that Ace of Cups to you. This is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Could be a water sign that is or contemplating advancing towards you. Nonetheless, it's emotion, right? It's feeling. So it's somebody's in their feelings about you. It kind of gives me the vibe of that. Somebody could be secretly crushing on you, I feel, with the Knight of Cups soon. And maybe looking to, like I said, advance towards you, but trying to figure out what is the appropriate way to do it so they don't get their so they don't get their head chewed off, is kind of the feeling this is giving me. I don't know why. I guess it's this Queen of Wands. She's in her stance, like, I don't know, she just, this card is one of my favorites in this deck, by the way. It's the Morgan Greer deck. It's a oldie but a goodie. But she's her stance and the art of her is just so powerful that it gives me that feeling. Like I said, somebody could definitely be intimidated by you, but nonetheless, they still want to advance towards you. And I think they could be, I don't know why I'm picking up shy. They could be a little bit on the shy side, debating what is the right move to make, because they don't want to make a fool of themselves, in other words. It's this sensitive aspect of the cups that maybe is giving me that shy vibe, okay, of whoever this person is. But yeah, I definitely see somebody coming up soon to, like I said, advance, offer that cup of love, and like on a hope and a prayer that you won't turn them down. It kind of feels like, but this energy here is giving me the vibe that, yeah, they are sincere about their offer, because they have feelings, or they've been crushing on you in silence for a while, is what this is giving me. Vibes of, right now, their back, if you look at it, their back is turned towards you, right? Their back is turned. And it's because they're not ready to face you, all right? They're not ready to face their feelings or advance towards you at this time. So they're kind of like, you know, taking that position of, ooh, I'm not quite ready. I'm not quite ready to make my move, so let me pretend I don't notice, is what this is telling me, okay? So definitely whoever this is on the they're very romantic, okay? They might have a romantic side to them, sensitive side to them as well. There's, again, you're exuding some kind of magnetism or attraction, like people are attracted to you right now. Your vibe is highly attractive. There's something, a magnetism that you give off here with this card right now. People are noticing. So let's take a look at later. Alrighty, the Hangman energy. You know what? I'm going to grab another card on this, because the Hangman is kind of like waiting, right? It's like, dude, make your move. What are you waiting for? All right, let's see what's going on here later. Let's grab another card for later. Your love life later. Pile number 4 viewers. Because I'm looking at the Hangman like, why is this person waiting? Or it could be that you also are trying to figure them out. If they advance, maybe you're making them wait on you, right? That's a possibility. Because the Hangman is all about that weird space in between. You're not quite, you've got one foot in the door, and then the other foot not in the door, if you know what I mean. So let's take a look at later. Oh, okay. Queen of Swords energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But that could be the energy that you are portraying. And maybe it could be that's why you're waiting. You're not, maybe this person will advance towards you. They really do like you. It feels like over here with the Knight of Cups. But you might be a little bit, with the Queen of Swords, maybe not willing to entertain the offer. Okay. And you might be putting them on hold. Because the energy of the Queen of Swords, she's very like, she's very, again, sure of herself. It's this energy where you don't take any shit, basically. You don't take any BS from people. You always want the truth, nothing but the truth. Like, you don't really let anything slip by you with this energy. So it's kind of giving me the feeling like somebody could be advancing towards you, but you're not really feeling them the way that they are feeling you, and you're summing them up in some way. And hey, Queen of Rods might have some serious standards, right? And you're entitled to that. You know, that's cool. You're not gonna just give you're not gonna fill anybody's cup or give your cup to anybody either. Right? With, you know, the Knight of Cups energy, he might be saying, hey, you know, take my cup, and you're maybe not willing to receive it for a purpose or a reason maybe. So it kind of does feel like soon somebody is going to advance. Somebody's going to let you know how they feel. I think they're going to put themselves out there towards you, but you might put them on hold a little bit over here because you want to figure them out first. And it's like this feeling of, I want to see what you're made of. Like, I really want to know that you're going to be worth my time. Otherwise, again, it's like this feeling of, I'm not going to just entertain anybody unless I know they're sincere, unless I know they're true. Sword of Truth is what she holds, and she wields it very fiercely. Queen of Swords also is an energy where if you've been hurt before, you know, you're a little bit more suspect of people. Again, it's more or less, like I said, that feeling of summing somebody up. And you know what? I don't know. It kind of, for some of you, this might be specific to a few of you. It kind of feels a little like shit testing, if you know what I mean. Like you're trying to give them an inch to see if they would take a mile, if you know what I mean. But they might hang themselves with that cord if they take advantage, right? I know that's crazy, but it could be that you're testing the waters with them. For whatever reason, these two cards together are giving me that feeling. And you're not going to cut somebody loose to let them know where they stand until you're certain of their motives. Okay, and that's the later. That's the later. Again, somebody's on hold. Somebody's waiting on you. It feels like you're okay. You're fine. You're in the clear. It feels like it feels like, because there's two queens here, this is your energy putting them on hold. Okay? Because we have a masculine energy in the Hangman card. We have a masculine energy here with the Knight. So I kind of feel like that's you putting them on hold. And they're waiting on you to decide what it is that you want from this connection. So it kind of feels like the ball is in your court, pile number 4 viewers, with whoever this person is that advances towards you and offers love or confesses that they like you or feel something for you. You might give them the time of day, but it's going to come, it feels like it's going to come with a little bit of conditions. And again, I think part of that is because, again, the Queen of Swords, if you've been hurt before, you've been through it, done that, been there, done that, you're so like secure and sure of yourself that you're not going to just give your cup to anybody. Somebody might offer their cup to you, but you're more reserved on that end. And it's like with the Queen of Swords, let me get to know you first. Let me see what your motives are. Let me understand your mind and how you think. And then I'll decide if I want to take the next step with you, is what this is feeling like. And then until that happens, until you're sure and certain with that sword energy that reveals truth and sees things clearly, right? Until you're certain, it's going to be one of those things where like you and this person are kind of up in the air, like the Hangman is hanging up in the air. It might be that you keep the relationship up in the air for a little bit until you can figure it out. And that's not really not doing it from like in a malicious way or anything like that. What it feels like is that, you know, you're just not going to take the next step to solidify anything until you're sure. And that's kind of, you know, as far as leveling it up to the next stage of a relationship, right? You don't want to make any promises or something like that until you're sure. You don't want to guarantee anything until you're sure. That's what this feels like right here. But it does feel like the person's willing to wait, whoever this is. They're willing to wait, even though it might make them uncomfortable to know where you stand with them. It could be that they're patient. And maybe they understand because it's, you know, more sensitive energy with the Knight of Cups. They understand, you know, that you might want to take your time. So let's see if we can get a final oracle card on this, pile number 4. I think you're going to be completely honest with them, though, because that's what the sword energy does, right? The Queen of Swords especially. She's very forthright. She doesn't BS. She doesn't beat around the bush. She's going to tell you like it is. She does have a sharp tongue, but she speaks truth. So I feel like you're going to be completely honest with them, and I think they're going to be fully aware of that. And it's up to them whether they are willing to wait it out, you know, because those are your conditions or parameters, like I mentioned earlier. So let's see if we can get a final oracle card for this pile number 4. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, okay. Inner child, it says. The fairies of playfulness remind you to make time to embrace your inner child. Playing keeps us young at heart. Do something silly and fun, but stay safe. Ooh, okay. Could be, you know, when I think of the inner child, I do think of healing the inner child wounds that we all have. We all have them. And that could be why the Queen of Swords is a little bit like, don't know about you, right? And then it says over here, but stay safe. Maybe you're not sure if you can stay, if you feel safe with this person, right? And it's trying to figure them out, whether you're safe to level something up with them or take it to the next level with them. You have to feel safe and secure in order to take a relationship to the next step that way. Right, because there is a little bit of vulnerability that is involved in getting to meet new people or getting to know new people or in forming new relationships. So it kind of feels like that's part of this. But I also feel that this is telling you or reminding you, right, to take time to kind of nurture your inner child, have fun, maybe at times not take things so seriously, loosen up a bit, right? But at the same time, it does feel like, you know, you want to know that you're safe with this person, whoever this Knight of Cups is. And that makes sense. But this is also saying maybe you'll bring your guard down, like the Queen of Swords has her guard up with the sword upright. Maybe you'll bring your guard up a little bit with this person by enjoying each other's company, doing fun things, keeping it light. Perhaps at first, at least, right? Keeping it light and playful, that always helps loosen the mood or the worry or concern that can sometimes burden a relationship in the beginning stages of, you know, people having certain expectations. So anyhow, that's what I have for you, pile number 4 viewers. This is your reading. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, click that little bell for notification to support this channel. Every interaction does help this channel grow. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, all you have to do is check me out on Etsy. All my information is in the description box down below. Just pay me a visit. I do have personal readings there, as well as handmade crystal jewelry that I make with my 2 hands on my free time. So much love to you, pile number 4 viewers. Take care of yourselves and keep shining.